This is a living legend, Bob Hurricane Hanna. Of American motorsport, few men have so dominated their chosen profession. The Daytona Supercross. Bob Hanna is a motocross racer, the best motocross racer America has ever produced. In the first 4 years of his spectacular career, Hurricane Hanna won 50 major races. No one else is even close. Then a broken leg, suffered in a water skiing accident, robbed Hanna of this spectacular winning form. Now Bob Hanna is making a comeback. At one of the world's most famous racing facilities, Daytona International Speedway, 50,000 fans have gathered to see if the King can regain his throne. In his path stand all the top stars of all the major factory racing teams. Hanna's weapon is a factory Honda, a bike he wanted so badly, he said he'd ride it for free. For these young Chargers, Daytona Speed Week kicks off a whole year of competition. Victory here is a first-class ticket to superstardom. Daytona. Whether it's cars or motorcycles, Daytona is the place to win. It is at Daytona that Hanna will try to carve out his comeback. Don't be fooled by this pre-race calm. The Daytona track is a man-eater. The qualifying heat. Even for proven stars like Hanna, there is no free pass to the main event. Hanna is in the first of 4 heat races. 20 of the top names in a rough and tumble game launched themselves onto this brutal course. Only the top 7 transfer to the semifinals, and Hanna quickly grabs the lead with teammate Johnny O'Mara in hot pursuit. Supercross racing is America's richest and most prestigious two-wheeled battleground. 3 times in his illustrious career, before he was befallen by injury, Hanna claimed this lucrative championship. To win the race, Hanna must beat the track. 1.2 miles long, the circuit is a torturous testimony to the diabolical genius of designer Gary Bailey. He was one of the first American motocross stars. Ironically, Bailey's son David is among the rising Supercross hopefuls who will challenge Hanna today. But as Hanna launches a breathtaking sky shot off a huge Bailey jump, it's obvious, at least in the early going, he's regained his winning form. O'Mara continues his pursuit, but Hanna is clearly in control. O'Mara, one of the young lions of this sport, in which the top stars are in their mid-20s and 30-year-olds are history. Hanna knows it takes stamina, speed, and courage to win at motocross, that this is the exclusive province of the young. At age 26, the Hurricane is in his physical prime, aggressive as ever, the Charger, and on proving he's still top dog in Supercross competition. Hanna wins his qualifying heat with ease. This is the confident, indeed cocky Bob Hanna of old.
Well, I have a good bike now and been riding a lot. I think Daytona is a good track for Honda too. You know, that sand drags the horsepower out of them, and if you got about 5 horsepower more than everybody else, that's enough to do it.
But David Bailey is also here to do it at Daytona. Here he is in practice, and he was awesome. Long years of instruction under the watchful eye of Father Gary have served Bailey well. He, too, shows no fear of this brutal course that Dad has designed, but the start of Bailey's heat race is a disaster. In the mad rush to turn 1, Bailey crashes. Two other riders down as the young Team Honda star struggles to rejoin the fray. The rest of the field streaking off into the distance. Bailey finally gathers his wits, restarts his machine, and takes off. Apparently, he is hopelessly out of contention. Up front, the privately sponsored Honda of Jeff Hicks has taken the lead, but he feels the hot breath of Clint Hardick and Phil Larson. That three-way battle for heat race supremacy, providing the fans an amazing demonstration of riding skill and ferocious competition. But back in the pack, David Bailey is on the move. Spurred by his early misfortune, the 22-year-old Virginian is riding like a man possessed. He's gobbling up the back markers in a desperate attempt to get to the front. And in the waning moments of this 10-lap battle, Bailey moves within striking distance of the leaders. Hicks and Hardick are intent on their own battle for the lead, but behind them, the comeback assault is on. Bailey has taken over third place. Bailey is now assured a starting spot in the main event, but as this exhibition of two-wheeled aerobatics soars towards its conclusion, the young Charger is not content with third. Through the Jackrabbit whoop-de-doos, Bailey continues to harass the Hicks and Hardick duo. The pace, breathtaking. A mistake here means disaster. Another crash, and Bailey will be out of the main event. Undaunted, David Bailey tries a daring pass on the outside and tangles with a course marker. Hardick takes advantage of the confusion, squirts into the lead. Bailey recovers quickly, no harm done. He continues his heart-stopping chase of the front runners. On the short front straightaway, Bailey whips outside Hicks and takes over second place. David Bailey, the man on the move at Daytona. In desperation, Hardick tries to keep his machine out front, but Bailey's pursuit is relentless. Using his long legs like an outrigger, the lanky second-generation motocross star pursues the leader, looking for any opening that might give him a shot at a winning pass. On lap 9, across pit road of Daytona, Spain stock car track, Bailey takes the lead. Look at it again. The young man's riding skill has put him in contention. Now on the straightaway, Honda horsepower carries him to the front. Bailey takes time for a mid-air look back at the stunned Hardick, who tries in vain to maintain the pace of the new leader. What a moment for David Bailey, who has turned dirt-eating disaster at the start of the race into this moment of triumph on the final lap. Father Gary's difficult course, no match for the younger Bailey today. He's cut down the entire field in heat race number 2. Now he's headed for the main event to meet the challenge of teammate Bob Hurricane Hanna. What will it take to beat Hanna in the main event?
Yeah, it's trying, that's the word. The guy's hard to beat. He's putting out a lot of effort. I don't really think he has that much to prove, but obviously he feels he has a lot to prove, and he's out there to do it. He's going to be hard to beat, but I'm younger and up and coming. He's getting a little bit old. He's got the experience, though, so it's going to be tough.
Tough? That's just half the description. Hanna is also extremely confident.
I think if we let all the air out of the Team Honda's tires, it'd be a close race tomorrow, but team manager don't want to do that, so I think we're going to run away with it.
The stage is set. The countdown in its final moment. 40 of the fastest riders in the world blast out of the gate. Turn 1 is a battlefield, an explosion of dirt and dust. From amid the chaos emerges the leader, Bob Hanna. Just as he did in qualifying, Hanna has thrown down the gauntlet to his rivals. Hanna's Honda teammates O'Mara and Bailey ride second and third. In high-flying formation, the rest of the factory stars and privately backed hopefuls marshal their forces and try to mount an assault on the leaders. This is the Bob Hanna of old, blasting the turns with the force of a jackhammer, picking his lines with the precision of a surgeon. Hanna is clearly in command in the early running of this grueling marathon. His mastery of the course and his machine, a marvel to behold. You're watching motocross at its best, a mystical blend of mechanical sophistication and incredible rider skill and courage, a perfect marriage of machine and muscle. Only O'Mara and Bailey are able to keep the fleeing Hanna in sight. Meanwhile, the Daytona torture track saps the strength of the challengers and leaves them further and further behind. Hanna has moved into a realm of surreal speed, occasionally venturing beyond that razor edge of control, but each time returning from the brink of disaster with an ever-increasing lead. The less experienced Bailey continues his pursuit in third place. His heat race comeback for the moment a fading memory, overshadowed now by Hanna's incredible performance. As Bailey plugs away in third, his teammate Johnny O'Mara holds down second spot. Team Honda seeking an unprecedented sweep of the Daytona Supercross. In the lengthening shadows of late afternoon, as the curtain rings down on a long and memorable day of motocross combat, Bob Hanna continues to weave his magic spell over Daytona. The white flag falls, signifying one lap to go. Hanna has only lapped riders to contend with. His adversaries have all been left in the Daytona dust. In one of the most competitive forms of motorsport in the world, Hanna has no competition. This is the master, the preeminent rider in American motocross, Bob Hanna, writing a stirring comeback chapter in his long and illustrious saga of motorcycle racing success. Bob Hanna crosses pit road for the final time. The king of American motocross has regained his throne. This rejuvenated Hanna acknowledges no rival, makes way for no challenger. At the end of this grueling, dusty, dirt-caked day of two-wheeled action, one of the most sought-after checkered flags in all of racing will be his. Hanna is back. The hurricane winds blow across Daytona.
Well, you went out there today and you went out in your heat race. No one challenged you. You went back in the semi. No one challenged you again. And you repeated it in the final. No one was near you.
It's called Honda horsepower. That's all.
Honda horsepower and Hanna willpower and skill and courage have returned this trophy to familiar hands. The hurricane is back.